From the new Darling Stadium in Hampton, Virginia, WHCS Channel 5 presents Eastern Regional Group 5 Playoff Football, the Phoebus Phantoms and the Woodrow Wilson Presidents. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hinson. Welcome to Darling Stadium for tonight's clash between the 9-1 Woodrow Wilson Presidents and the 9-1 Phoebus Phantoms Division 5 football. Bob, I am so excited. This is going to be one great game.
I tell you, it's really going to be a good game. These two teams are no strangers. They've played regular season competition the last 3 or 4 years. They met each other in the playoffs. They scrimmaged each other this year. So it's a team that they know each other. They know what the other team is going to do. So what you have to do is you got to go out and execute. Can't make any mistakes. You do what you do well and keep the other team off the field.
Now the Peninsula team, the Phantoms, of course, 9-1, a co-district title holder with the Hampton Crabbers, and they get to host this game because Wilson was runners-up in their region or their district. But the Wilson team, of course, everyone knows about their quarterback.
Well, Aaron Sparrow is probably as good as any quarterback in the country, not in the state, but in the country. He is really heavily recruited. He's got a 3.2 average. He's on the honor roll. So this young man can kind of write his ticket to where he wants to go to school. But it's just not a one-dimensional team. They got a running back that has ran over 1,400 yards. They've got 2 receivers that are juniors that Coach Moore said are the best in the state. And they're Mutt and Jeff, one 5'8", the other 6'4". So you're not finding a team that's just quarterback-oriented. No, although that's what people do when they fight and when they go against them.
Well, that's what we wanted to make the fans aware of, is because this team is not one-dimensional. Aaron Sparrow is, in fact, a great quarterback, and he will be highly recruited, and will go off to a college that will make that college very happy. But they have a running back named Mike Atkins who got 1,400 yards rushing this season. That's 142 yards per game that this young man put on the board. So they are not just a passing team. You have to respect the running. And then if that isn't enough, they've got a defense that allowed 123 yards a game, only 6 points per game. Okay, right now we're going to go back in time. We're going to get a chance to have an interview that Bob had a little earlier with head coach Bill D of the Phoebus Phantoms.
I know you did something during getting prepared for this game. Tell me a little bit about who you used and what happened.
Well, we practiced over Hampton University, and there was a couple of Peninsula football players over there that we knew. Smoke Wilson, Jonathan Wilson who played for us, and Sean Parker from Kickertan, and Del Rock Kroom from Hampton High School, and Todd Summers from Hampton, and they were just great. They just said that anything you needed to help, a Peninsula team, they were willing to do it. And they came over and. Del Rock can throw that ball. We needed to go look against the college arm because, as far as I'm concerned, this kid's a college caliber right now. And it gave us a great look, and the kids did a good job all week against it. And so we'll just see what turns out tonight. Well, I know you might have a few wrinkles that we haven't seen. Tim had mentioned that you passed the ball and picked up more yardage in your last game you did all season long. Well, Kevin had been throwing the ball well the last couple of weeks. We just dropped a few, and we moved Thomas Bailey out to the split end to use his ability, and that really helped us a whole lot. And yeah, we'll have a few wrinkles. I think, in these games you don't change a lot, but you put in a few things you think might help you along the way.
Of course, we talked with Bill D. He knows what to expect with Wilson. But Wilson may not know what to expect with Bill D. and his team. His offense has really gelled.
Well, and what's gelled about it is Kevin Beckner now is throwing the ball. He throws the ball well. They dropped some passes earlier. He's put Bailey at wide receiver, as you heard in the interview, and that gives him another athlete out there on the wide receiver that can catch the ball. Bailey can do a lot of things. Kevin Beckner is a great quarterback, but I think the key to this game is going to be Phoebus's defense. What other teams have done against Wilson is they have been concentrating so hard on stopping Sparrow that you get your linemen and your linebackers running so hard that they hand the ball off to a back who goes right by them. So all of a sudden the guy is getting 1,400 yards. Well, the reason he is because Sparrow is so good at what he's doing. That opened up the running game. So Phoebus is aware of that, and they're not going to be concentrating only on Sparrow tonight.
Well, in fact, off camera, I had a chance to talk with Bill D, and he told me that the important part of the defense that the Phantoms have to use tonight is to read the keys. They cannot get preoccupied with run or pass. They have to respect both at all times, and that's what makes Wilson so dangerous. But let's talk about the Phoebus offense. You've got Beckner, who runs a great quarterback position. He's just a young kid who came into his own this year. But Maurice Turner, this is a young man with over 1,000 yards.
Maurice Turner is probably a very underrated quarterback. I mean, a halfback from people from the other side, from the south side. Here in the peninsula, we've known him. He's been a great runner for 3 or 4 years at Phoebus, but they also have a great runner in Kevin Giles and a great blocker and a good runner in their fullback, and I'm trying to think of his name.
Chris Moore.
Chris Moore. I couldn't think of his name right off. So they have a lot of weapons. They're not one-dimensional. They've got a lot of weapons, and a lot of times they'll slip Mr. Bailey in the backfield and throw a halfback pass. So there'll be some different wrinkles you'll see from Phoebus tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a real wide-open ball game, I feel. I think it'll be a high-scoring job, although if it starts out high-scoring, it will be, but I don't know. The defenses are tough, so you just don't know what's going to happen.
But I don't think that Wilson's defense is as tough as Phoebus's defense. That's my assessment.
And I don't think that Phoebus wants to get into a run-and-gun type situation with them. They want to play good defense and control the ball when they can.
And on the other side, Darnell Moore doesn't want to get in a situation where he has to make the big play.
Right. All right, speaking of Darnell Moore, you had a chance to talk with him earlier. Let's go back in time right now for that interview with Bob and head coach Darnell Moore of Wilson High School.
Coach, congratulations on a fine season and last year's state championship. Tell me a little bit about your team. This is the first chance we've got to see them this year.
Well, basically, we have a team very much like we had last year with Dallas offense. We run as much as we pass, and pretty good defense. Not a great one, but a pretty good defense.
I know a lot of people are looking at Aaron Sparrow all the time, but talking to you early in the week, you tell me you've got 2 real good wide receivers.
Yeah, we have, I guess they're a little bit better than just good, and we have a terrific tailback also. And I guess that's what balances our offense out.
Defensively, what are you going to have to do to stop this Phoebus team tonight?
The big thing, we need to put them in a second and long situation. We can't let them get 5 to 6 yards on first down.
Okay, so the key is to get them off the field and not let them run the ball down the field on you.
Well, if they drive the ball down our throat, we're going to be in trouble.
Darnell Moore didn't really want to give a lot of hints about what his team was going to do tonight. He was kind of tight-mouthed about it.
Well, and I think you hit the nail on the head. He's nervous. He's got to respect this team because this team beat him in scrimmage. So Phoebus knows they can beat Wilson. And Wilson's got to come out and play error-free ball. I think what Phoebus is looking for is them to make some mistakes and try to do some things to stop Phoebus, which will open up some things for Phoebus. It's going to be a great game, but any way you look at it.
Arguably, these are the 2 best Division V teams in the state. A lot of people are saying the championship for Division V is being played tonight.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
there you have had the playing of the national anthem by the Phoebus High School Marching Band and the Phoebus Alma Mater. I'm Tim Cole with Bob Hintz. Welcome back to Darling Stadium as the pregame ceremonies continue for the Eastern Regional Division 5 semifinals between the 9-1 Phoebus Phantoms and the 9-1 Woodrow Wilson Presidents. And from this point on, I will refer to them as the Presidents rather than going through that WW.
Well, we got a chance here. I just want to say one thing. I was out on the field. The field is in excellent condition. A lot of people thought Larry Malloy's team, crew just does such a fantastic job. The last regular season ball game was when Kecoughtan played Lafayette, and they played in the rain, and it was kind of a messy game, but you go out there in the field, and it is just fantastic shape. Yeah. You know, our hats and accolades go out to Larry Malloy and his group here at Darling Stadium.
I echo the sentiments exactly. This is probably the finest high school facility in the state of Virginia at this time. I'm just not aware of any that are any finer. The field, I was talking to the officials, Chuck Boney, a friend of mine who was with the Dave Respect crew tonight. Legs Boney, I call him. But Chuck was telling me that he and his crew have been so excited about this game. He called me at home Tuesday night to tell me that they had been assigned this game, and he was that excited about it. He said he's been 4 feet off the ground all day. So it happens all the way down the line. Not only the players get excited, the coaches get excited, we announcers are excited about it, the officials are excited. This is a real just a hyper situation for everybody tonight. I know we're going to
you've got two great teams, Tim, and if you look at the crowd on this side where we have the Phoebus crowd, the stands are almost full, and you look on the other side and the Wilson side, and it's
that's the Wilson side you're looking at.
And there's not many empty seats over there until you get down to the far ends. Yeah, this is just an exciting game because of the caliber of both of these two teams. Bill D has done such a fine job since he's gone to Phoebus, and the same thing goes to Darnell Moore since he got over to Woodrow Wilson in the early 70s. He has had just an outstanding program there at Wilson.
Speaking of Wilson and the Phoebus Phantoms, there you see our broadcast position. I tell you one thing, I'm just glad to be here tonight. 4 12-minute quarters of exciting high school football. The Phantoms lost that one game that they lost to Warwick. And, of course, those of you that are familiar with Phoebus High School football and the Hampton City Schools, you will recall that Phoebus had gone ahead in that game with about 3 minutes to go in the game. On the ensuing kickoff, an 87-yard run back by the Warwick Raiders upset, or at least defeated, the Phantoms at that point. On the other side of the ledger, for the Woodrow Wilson Presidents' third game of the season, found Aaron Sparrow, their star quarterback, out with a shoulder separation, and Indian River took advantage of the situation and defeated Wilson 9-7. But since that game, the Presidents have defeated all 7 opponents, and in the last 5 games, Bob, the Presidents have allowed just 1 touchdown in 5 games. So they're a team to be reckoned with without any question.
Yeah, it's just awesome what they have done.
We probably need to get word to our director that our officiating crew tonight, Dave Respect, the referee who has been kind enough to wear a mic for us, wants to get a mic check. There you go. There you see Dave on the right. There's Chuck Boney on the left. Go ahead. Yeah, we're picking you up every now and then.
Very good.
We'll get that ironed out, I'm sure.
Well, here you can see the Phoebus Phantoms coming on over to our left. We'll get our camera people on it. This game, I'm like you. I have been walking on a cloud all week long knowing we was going to do this game. This is, I talked to Mike Talon. I've talked to the other coaches. I went over and talked to Darnell Moore. You don't need any hype. It's there because of the importance of this game. Getting on to go on to the finals and the state championship. Of course, you got to win this one and a couple more games. But this game could very well have been the state championship. These two teams should be in the finals.
There are the Phantoms coming on the field, and on the other side of the field, the Presidents have made their entry onto the field of play. We are moments away from the start of this ball game. Just a little bit about these teams, if you're not familiar with them. The Phantoms average 23-plus points per game, while allowing just 6 points per game. The Presidents, 42 points per game, and they allow just 6.7 points per game. The Phantoms averaged 263 yards total offense per game. And those of you that followed the Phantoms know that they don't pass the ball much. Only 35 yards per game for the Phantoms, while they average more than 228 yards on the ground. For the Presidents, 176 yards per game on the ground and another 183 yards passing. A very balanced attack for the Presidents, and their total offense almost 360 yards per game. And you know, you can argue the point all night long. A lot of people say the Presidents haven't played the caliber of teams that the Peninsula District has. We'll let the two teams on the field tonight decide just that. Let's listen in now for our pregame ceremonies with Dave Reesbeck. Here come the Phantoms on the field. You talk about supercharged.
I have not seen both teams meet in the center of the field before. Usually it's the seniors or somebody, or the co-captains only, but both teams are out there.
Well, let me see if I can identify some of the tri-captains for the two teams. For the Phantoms, Chad Hopkins is out there along with, and if I can pick up the 33, Kevin Giles should be there. For the Presidents, their tri-captains, or co-captains at least, Aaron Sparrow, Ray Hicks, Anthony Odom, and Kareem Johnson. The Presidents have won the toss and they will receive. We apologize. We apparently are experiencing some difficulty with referee Reesbeck's microphone. We'll hopefully get that resolved before this game gets too far underway. But the Presidents will get the ball. They will be going from our right to our left. And they are wearing the blue uniforms with the white jerseys. The Phantoms, of course, in the blue and gold of Phoebus High School.
Well, Tim, we have a little bit of wind out there, but the wind is going across the field, and it's not behind the linebacker or the quarterbacks or in front of it. So
let's go ahead and show the folks, the officials for tonight's ball game.
Put them up there.
The crew, Dave Reesbeck and others. There you see one of the zebras, and we'll show you their names momentarily. If you want to go ahead and just mention who they are.
Okay, we have the referee, of course, is Dave Reesbeck. The umpire is Chris Owens. The lineman is Tom Moore. The judge is Chuck Boney, your friend. Boney Knees. Is that what you call it, Boney Knees?
Boney. Well, we got him as Chris Boney on the screen, but he actually is Chuck Boney.
And then we have Jim Collier as the back judge, and our clock operator is Richard Rawls. I want to mention him. We didn't have room for him on the screen.
All right, and we'll give you the offensive and defensive lineups for the teams after the kickoff has taken place. The coaches for tonight's game: for the Phantoms, Bill D. He is assisted by Greg Navard, Mike Talon, Aubrey Perry, Keith Best, and Mike Tyndall.
And there's another coach up here in the booth that is helping him out. Bob Schmidt, the new head coach over at Denby High School, is helping Coach Bill D out tonight. And the coaches, you want to go ahead and go for the coaches for the Presidents. We got Darnell Moore as the head coach, Harold Price, Kenny Rogers, Danny Hill, Lola Disick, and Charles Richardson. And here we go.
John Jensen has the ball in the air. It's a deep kickoff all the way back into the end zone and out. And that'll be a run back to the 18-yard line.
I tell you, you talk about the adrenaline flowing. That kickoff was deep and long for the Phantoms.
Darren Sparrow returned the kickoff out to the 18-yard line for the Presidents. And there you see the offensive lineup. Aaron Sparrow, number 10, is the quarterback. There you see the center and the guards and the tackles. Moore and Odom the tackles. We'll get back to that in just a moment as they're set to run the first play from line of scrimmage. Wide to the right goes Van Edwards, their leading receiver. And Ron Boone, the other receiver, is to the near side. First pass of the ball game is to Edwards on the far sideline. And Thomas Bailey was there to make the stop for the Phantoms.
Well, Thomas Bailey gave him a lot of cushion there, and he will move up a little bit, but that young man is a good receiver. This Van Edwards, as you was talking about, he's a leading receiver. And they're going with no huddle at all.
And signals from Aaron Sparrow, so a wrinkle that we did not necessarily expect, or certainly no one talked about. The Wilson Presidents. Sparrow has all day, unloads, throws up a easy ball to pick off. It was almost intercepted by the Phantoms. That was 27, Anthony Chapman.
Well, that was great defense on that time, but the reason that the Presidents are not going with the huddle is because Aaron Sparrow checks off a lot at the line of scrimmage, and if he can do that, why not do it? Let me go ahead and run down the lineup. Whitfield is the center, Cummins and Johnson the guards, Moore and Odom are the tackles, the tight end is Gibbs, the split end is Boone, quarterback Sparrow, the fullback is Southall, the tailback is Atkinson, and the flanker is Edwards.
Here's your replay. Sparrow had a lot of time. He got hit just as he unloaded. The ball was really up for grabs. That was more or less a Hail Mary. In fact, Chapman had a better shot at it than the intended receiver. Sparrow scrambling to the near side, throws back across the grain. Ron Boone, the intended receiver, cannot catch the ball.
Well, he was really catching a lot of pressure that time, he being Aaron Sparrow, while we got the defense out there.
Can I interrupt you for just a minute? There's a flag on the play. It's going to be 4th down, but there is a flag on
and it's holding. And at this point, you would want him to kick it. I would not worry about moving it back. If I was a coach, I'd say punt the ball because that's an explosive offense. And you have good, decent field position, and it is being declined. The Phoebus defense is Howard at nose guard, Bontemps and Jamerson are tackles, Henderson and Turner are the ends. Linebackers are Barrett and Giles, the cornerbacks Bailey and Barrett, and that's James Barrett, and the safeties are Chad Hopkins and Kevin Beckner. And Sparrow is the punter, so you always have to watch out for a pass from punt formation.
Sparrow will be punting to a single deep man. That is Thomas Bailey, number 6, standing back inside his 40. Sparrow kicks the ball. It's a low end-over-end kick, takes a Phoebus bounce, and then finally will come to rest at the 48-yard line of the Presidents.
Look at what kind of field position you've got if you're Phoebus, because Phoebus is a control type of team in that they want to get the ball, and they will run, and run that ball down your throat. And as we was talking to Bill D earlier, the key to the wishbone is your fullback, Chris Moore. If he can pick up 2, 3, or 4 yards on that first down, and it really helps him. Great field position to start off with the initial possession of the ball. And there you can see your offense. Selby, Jamerson, Little, Howard, Shields, Bontemps, Barrett, Beckner, Giles, Turner, and Moore. What a potent offense. And there goes Chris Moore. Look at him, Tim.
Chris Moore all the way to the 42-yard line. A pickup of 5 yards.
Picked up a little
6.
more than 5. And then,
it's closer to 6.
Yeah. And that's what Bill Deese was talking about. Second and short rather than second and long. Nice blocking by that offensive line. They just do a great job. Selby, Jamerson, Little, Howard, and Shields.
They really do. And Kevin Beckner at quarterback has really matured well this season. He's doing a super job. This is Chris Moore as he struggles to about the 41-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and 3 for the Phantoms. Did we get a chance to show the defensive alignment for the Presidents? Yeah, the Phoebus offense very hurriedly.
Well, we've had a little problem with our graphics. The nose guard is Rivers. The tackles are Hunter and Odom. The ends are Wiggins and Trotter. The linebackers are Hicks and Johnson. Cornerbacks are Seaman and Winston. The safeties are Schwann and Brown.
That was a replay of the last play. We're back to the live action now. 3rd down and 3 for the Phantoms. This is Beckner on the quarterback keeper. He gets the first down at the 37-yard line.
And that's one thing that Kevin Beckner has done since he since he took over the quarterback spot for the Phoebus. I am so excited. I'm glad you're bringing me down. But he makes good decisions, Tim. He made a good decision on that. Rather than pitching the ball and give it to Moore, he kept the ball, pick up the first down. That's what's important.
And that's right. You really can't coach a lot of that. That has to be instinctive. It has to be athletic. That this young man at quarterback reads the different keys very well, and if he feels the right pressure, he's got a great man in Maurice Turner, who's usually trailing on that play. First down for the Phantoms at the Wilson 37-yard line. And this is Maurice Turner. Turner tries the right side, gets across the 35, down to about the 33-yard line.
Well, I tell you, a lot of that was on second effort. But watch, if you look at the defense, Tim, the next time the Presidents line up, they are getting closer and closer to the line of scrimmage, which will open up a pass. Now, Kevin Beckner has done a better job. Watch this replay as Turner does a great job of following his blockers, and then picks up 2 more yards on his own.
Gain of 4 on the play, 2nd down and 6. Beckner still has the football on the option, cuts it upfield, and he is
was a saving tackle. He was going all the way. What a nice job of picking out the keys and looking for the seams. And a lot of that goes to your coaching staff. They've done a great job of preparing him.
Here's the replay. Watch Beckner. That's number 7. He's got Giles following him, but he keeps the ball. A good decision again as he picks up good yardage. You're right. One more man to beat, and he might have gone all the way. So the Phantoms have a first down at the 22-yard line. No score. First quarter. Chris Moore stacked up at the line of scrimmage. No gain. This Wilson defense is superb. They have allowed just 123 yards total offense by their opponents this season, which ironically, Bob, is exactly the same total that the Phantoms have allowed. How similar can your defenses be?
It's amazing. It really is. You know, Hampton High School wanted to play this Wilson team on their open date this year, and Wilson didn't want to play Hampton. As I can understand, they not wanting to.
Beckner on a second down and 10. He keeps. He is caught from behind and will be dragged back by Dwight Wiggins, number 81 of the Presidents. Beckner has kept the ball the majority of the plays here in the first quarter. 6:57 remain in the first quarter. We have no score. You're watching the Division 5, and you see the replay. Division 5 semifinals between the Wilson Presidents and the Phoebus Phantoms.
Well, that was a great job defensively that time. They read that option well and took away the pitch man and the quarterback.
Third down and 8 for the Phantoms. Moving ever so closer to John Jensen's field goal range if needed. This is Maurice Turner looking for some running room. He gets some. He's still on his feet. Finally out of bounds inside the 15.
But I think he may be a little short of the first down. Could he have fallen forward instead of not being knocked out of bounds? He would have picked up the first down. But now you have a big play in fourth down and a long one, or it looks like 2 yards.
They need to get across the 12, and they are at, well, a little outside the 13. Look at this extra effort by Turner here as he just ran out of running room.
If he been able to go forward instead of out of bounds, he'd have picked up the yardage. And you might look for Phoebus to try to pull this team off.
Quick count. Pitch goes to Kevin Giles. He's got room on the block. He's got a first down inside the 10-yard line.
And I tell you what made that play work is how quick they snapped the ball. And you talk about me excited. What about Dr. Sam up here?
Kevin Giles on a quick count. Kevin Beckner, as you said, I would have expected they might also, but they went on a quick count, trying to catch the Wilson defense a little bit off balance, and it worked very well.
Watch how quick, and it's just a nice pitch, but look who's doing a great blocking out there, number 22, Maurice Turner.
First and goal, Beckner with the ball. Looks inside. He is hit at the 8-yard line and down.
Well, there's some hitting going on out there. I tell you, these young men are really fired up, and the adrenaline is really flowing. You've got a second and goal. They cannot make a first down because they started inside the 10.
The ball is on the 7-yard line. It is second down and goal. 5:34 remaining in the first quarter. Clock is moving. Almost a full house.
What a nice call for a fake to the quarterback, drop back, a fake dive, and a quick pass to your tight end.
Beckner still has the football, and he will not get anything as he is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. That Wilson defense has allowed just 1 TD in 5 games, so you know they know how to play defense down inside the 10.
Well, and they have less area to protect down there too, Tim. The closer you get to that goal line, the less area the offense has to work with, and your defense can tighten up a little bit, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're really putting the pressure on the Phantoms. This is third and what looks like about 7 or 8.
Wishbone offense, Turner, Giles, and Moore. This is Beckner. Touchdown!
Oh, wow, what a big play by Kevin Beckner. Woo! Listen to that crowd.
Kevin Beckner takes it in. John Jensen will try the extra point out of Bailey's hole. Kick is up. The kick is good. And the Phantoms have gone out on top 7-0 with 4:42 remaining in the
But you can see the crowd, they're really excited on this side. What a nice run by Kevin Beckner. When he faked that handoff up the middle and kept the ball, he shot through that. He looked like he was shot out of a cannon when he went into the end zone. He dove into the end zone. Watch this play. Watch him follow. Maurice Turner makes a great block, as did Chris Moore, and Kevin was not to be denied. He just jumped into the end zone, and we've got statistics here from...
I've already got it. 48 yards, 12 plays.
Here we go.
6 minutes and 1 second.
And a minute and 6. Woo!
So the ball control that the Phantoms needed to have, they get the initial touchdown of the ball game after the Presidents had gotten the opening kickoff and went 3 downs and then punted.
Well, the thing, what you have to worry about here is that Presidents is such a explosive team. They can score from anywhere on the field. You've got to make sure your defense does not relax and plays as hard as they did that first series. Another deep kickoff that is fumbled. And a poor field position for the Presidents.
Bruce DeLoach.
My tongue is getting in front of my eye tooth.
Bruce DeLoach fielded that ball poorly at the 2-yard line. Again, Jensen got a great foot in the ball. And the Presidents now will start inside their 10-yard line. Again, poor field position for their possession.
And what that does is it limits your offense. But now what Mike Talon told me about this young Aaron Sparrow is that he will get back very, very quick to make his passes. That's why it's hard to put pressure on him. He drops so deep.
This is Atkins, Mike Atkins, and he is stacked up for no gain.
Phoebus started off with only 10 men on the line on the field that time, and had to get the 11th man in very late.
Mike Atkins carried 168 times, here you'll see the replay, for 1,438 yards this season. As we mentioned, they're not a single dimension team.
Well, that's number 52 making the stop for the Phantoms. That's Bryce Barrett.
This is Atkins with running room. Oh, what a nice move by Kevin Giles out of nowhere.
I tell you, Kevin Giles has really impressed me. He picked up that long and fourth down conversion and just said welcome to Darling Stadium.
And Atkins came up with a limp. This is Atkins. Looks like he's got great running room. Look at Giles just slash through there and throw Atkins for the stop at the 13-yard line. A gain of only 3 yards. A big 3rd down and 7 for Sparrow and company. 3:09 remaining first quarter. Atkins shifts in the backfield. Still uncertain where he's supposed to be. Still moving, and now a delay of the game. So the President's a little rattled here.
Well, they have not been tested like this all year long. And that really hurts you because it also not only drops you back further, gives you less area, but now you've got 12 yards to go for the first down, and you can't try anything silly and turn the ball over to the Phantoms in this end of the field.
So the ball is marked at the 8-yard line. As you said, now a 3rd down and 12 for the Presidents. Indecision on the part of Atkins last time. He just couldn't decide where he was supposed to line up. Sparrow was trying to get him in place, and he never got set before the time ran out. And we've got movement on the field. That'll be against the Presidents. This is not a free play. If it goes against the Phantoms, they'll just take it back. It goes out of bounds, and they'll undoubtedly take a 4th down situation.
They had an end on this side, broke his stance, and never got set.
There you see the brain trust of the Phantoms. Bill D with his back to you, walking away, Mike Talon and others. Here's a replay. Sparrow again with plenty of time, standing deep in his own end zone, unloads a 50-yard toss.
That ball comes down at the 50, and he was in the end zone, so that was over 50 yards.
Illegal shift. You see Dave Reesbeck, the referee, indicates
we don't want that. Punt that ball.
4th down and Sparrow will be standing literally in the shadow of the goalposts.
There's a good shot at number 73, T.J. Shields, one of the stalwarts on offensive line for the Phantoms. He's one of the defensive tackles.
Sparrow gets the ball away, little or no rush, a poor kick, fielded by Bailey at the 35-yard line. And he's out of bounds at the 31, and again, the Phantoms will have great field position.
I tell you, the Phantoms are fired up, and what is doing it for them, Tim, is their defense. And if you remember what I said at the beginning of the game, I don't believe that the Wilson Presidents have faced a defensive tough as the Phantoms have, but they're also showing us that they have a tremendous offensive team that can hang on to that ball and move it down the field and take some time off the clock and put points on the board.
2:41 remains in the first quarter. This game videotaped on the 16th of November, 1990. Eastern Regional Semifinals, Division 5. The Phantoms leading 7-0. Flip goes to Turner, and they were waiting for him. They were literally waiting for him down the line. If he could have reversed his field, it might have been a good play.
I tell you, they knew what was coming. They had that diagnosed and defended very well. The cornerback on that side just ignored the whiteout and came up and was ready. If we can see that on replay, I don't know if we have it or not, but you can see number 41 just step up and wait for Maurice Turner to run to him. There was no place for Maurice to go.
Phantoms put Chris Williamson wide to the right, just out of your picture. Beckner inside, handoff goes to Kevin Giles. He struggles to the 30-yard line. A misdirection play on the part of the Phantoms picks up about 5.
Well, that's a counter play. You got the rest of your backs going to the right, and Kevin came back on an inside handoff going off of the guard position and picked up about 3 or 4 yards on the play.
Giles on the season, 50 carries for 274 yards and 4 touchdowns. And again, we thank our good friends in the Daily Press for helping us with statistics for this ball game. 3rd down and 8. Beckner gives inside, and nothing happening there as the Wilson defense has risen to the occasion. And now the Phantoms will be outside of field goal range, and they'll have to make a decision whether to punt the ball or go for it.
Well, number 16, their place kicker is coming on the field, carrying his a little block that he puts the ball on, so that looks like they're going to go for the field goal. The ball will be set up at about the 38-yard line, which will make a 48-yarder.
So the Phantoms optimistic that Jensen, who has kicked 2 field goals this season, this would be his longest attempt. It's up. It's good!
What a kick! What a toe!
Excuse me for questioning his ability.
He walked up and walked on the field like this was an extra point, Tim. He had, very little emotion. I got a job to do. This blue-collar team of the Phantoms are just impressing me tonight. And we get first break in the action. We got 40 seconds at the end of this quarter. I need to talk about our people that are helping us honor the player of the game.
Here's your replay. Of course, we don't have an end zone camera, but you can see he's got plenty of distance, and he splits the uprights.
No doubt about it. That thing was
good for the 5 yards further back. So Jensen feeling that pumped up feeling. He's kicked 2 kickoffs all the way down to the goal line, and now he buries a 48-yard field goal, and the Phantoms lead 10-0 with 40 seconds remaining. First quarter from Darling Stadium. Jensen kicks a low kick. This is fielded by one of the up men at the 15-yard line.
Well, that's the best field position that the Presidents have had tonight.
That is Darren Sparrow who returned that kick. I would assume he possibly is related to Aaron
Well, and
Sparrow.
he is the quarterback of the future. He is the backup quarterback. He is Aaron Sparrow's brother.
Just a sophomore.
And he will be the quarterback the next 2 years for the Presidents.
28 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Wilson with the ball at their 28-yard line. As you said, by far their best field position. Aaron Sparrow still has the football, rolling to his right, looking downfield, completes the pass to Ron Boone at the 43-yard line.
What a nice job of faking by Aaron Sparrow. He hit that ball on his hip, rolled out, and just threw a strike to his wideout.
Boone with 29 catches on the season, 674 yards. That'll be the last play of the first quarter. 13 touchdowns for Ron Boone. And time has run out before Sparrow and company can get the next play off.
Well, while we have the break in action, Tim, let me go ahead and talk about, we will pick a player of the game for the Phoebus Phantoms, and we will honor that young man with a plaque that is being donated by DC Engraving, which is a sample of metal photo. DC Engraving is located in York Village Shopping Center on Route 17 in Grafton. We'll also give him a shirt which is very similar to the shirts that our staff has on, which was also donated by Turner's Hardware and Sports Place, which has convenient locations, one in Willow Oak Shopping Center, another one at Denby Hardware and Sporting Goods located at Denby Square, and the newest store is a sports place located at the shops at Hampton Harbors next to Hampton University. And we also would like to take this time to thank Dave Chubb and Bruce Hatch and all the people at Turner's for giving us the stadium seat, which we do have a winner for that, and we will talk about that on next break.
After 12 minutes of play, the Phoebus Phantoms have dominated the Wilson Presidents here in the first half of this ball game. They took their first possession, the Phoebus did, and went 48 yards. Kevin Beckner, the final 7. Jensen's extra point was good, and now Jensen has added a 48-yard field goal to make it 10-0 as we get ready to start the second quarter. Aaron Sparrow at quarterback. Ball at the 43-yard line. Short drop back, and Van Edwards was the intended receiver on the far sideline, and the ball went right through his hands. Defending on the play, Anthony Chapman, number 27 of the Phantoms.
Well, Van Edwards is only 5'8". He is an exciting player in that he catches the ball right well, but he also runs back punts and kickoffs, and that ball was just a little too high for him. I think Aaron may be just a little pumped up and just overthrew him.
Second down and 10. Rodney Southall in the backfield along with Atkins. Sparrow fakes, then wants to go long. He's got his man out there. He's got Thomas Bailey out there to bust it up for the Phantoms.
I tell you, Thomas Bailey is one tremendous athlete. And I thought he had bad position on that ball. He let the receiver get inside of him, but he made a great play. Aaron did a great job of faking the throw. That was the earlier play where he faked that last time and then went deep. They go for the home run often with this team.
I'll give you the first quarter statistics the next chance we get. Third down for the Presidents at the 43-yard line. Clock stops with 11:49 remaining in the first half. Sparrow, straight drop back. Looking, has time, now throws, and he's got his man wide open at the 40-yard line. That is Ron Boone. He's got a first down at the Phantom 40.
And look at the throw, Tim. That was a hard throw because it went clear across the field, right on target. What a strong arm Aaron Sparrow has.
Here's your replay. Sparrow with too much time if you're a Phantom. They just didn't get to him. That big offensive line for the Wilson Presidents gave him all the time he needed. And Ron Boone was wide open at the 40-yard line.
And he just, that ball was in the air much too long not to have a defender coming over and to pick that thing off.
First down at the Phoebus 40-yard line. The deepest penetration for the Presidents. Sparrow gets some pressure. He unloads, and it's almost picked off as Bailey went for the intercept, and Boone came up with the catch. You gamble, and sometimes it pays off, and sometimes it doesn't.
That was not a bad play on Thomas Bailey. He just misjudged it because had he caught it, he would have been gone. Nobody would have touched him, and he did a great job of reading Aaron Sparrow that time, but he missed the ball, and you got to take your hats off to the receiver to concentrate on catching that ball.
Here's your replay. Sparrow gets some pressure, and as he is going down, look at there, Bailey Bailey gives up a couple of inches on height, and that was the difference. There you see the final part of that play. Now Sparrow feeling the pressure, gets good blocking. Boy, what good blocking. He's going to get a man wide open. No, it's incomplete.
You can't give Aaron Sparrow that much time. He's going to find somebody open. That ball should have been caught.
The intended receiver in the end zone was Corey Gauze, number 20, and he was wide open. First quarter statistics, first downs, the Phantoms 3, the Presidents 1. Third down conversions, the Presidents 0 for 2, the Phantoms 1 for 3. Total net yards, 48 for the Phantoms, 23 for the Presidents. And I'll give you some individual stats here in just a moment. Second down and 10, the ball at the Phoebus 18-yard line. Sparrow again has time, now feels some pressure. Being chased by Maurice Turner, unloads, throws in the end zone. He's got a touchdown. Van Edwards in the end zone.
That's why that young man is one of the best receivers in the state. Phoebus should never let him catch that ball. They had 3 receivers around him. They went up for the ball rather than to knock the ball down, and Edwards came up with it. But a big play because Aaron Sparrow was chased again out of the pocket. But this is a big play team, and Tim, they look like they said, we're not going to run the ball at all. We're going to throw it.
They may feel they can't run against Phoebus. And we've got whistles and a flag before the snap of the ball.
We got encroachment against Phoebus. They crossed the into the neutral zone, and that may make a change. That may mean that Coach Moore is going to go for 2, and that's exactly what it looks like he's doing. He's going to go for 2 rather than the 1.
Richard Price is.
Hey, we got LeCount is here tonight with Gary.
More from Computerland giving us our statistics. 7 plays, 72 yards. It took 4 minutes and 39 seconds. So the Wilson Presidents will go for 2. And we've got a flag down.
And I think we took too much time. Well, that might mean that you go back and you go back with the extra point from the. Oh wait!
Illegal procedure against the Presidents. So apparently someone may have moved. Individually in the first quarter, Beckner with 6 carries for 26 yards and a touchdown. His longest carry, 11 yards. Turner had 3 carries for 9. Giles, 2 carries for 7 yards. Chris Moore, 4 times for 6.
Well, you will
15 carries for 48 yards.
Very seldom are you going to see 2 penalties on the PAT.
Doesn't happen often. So now Price will try the extra point from the kick. Out of the hold of Van Edwards. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So Price connects on his 37th extra point of the season. And 72 yards on 7 plays, 4:39 was the time.
Watch this replay of that touchdown. He's getting a lot of pressure. As you can see, Maurice Turner putting pressure on and throws the ball as he's getting hit. And there are 2 Phantoms around the ball. And Van Edwards did a great job of concentrating and coming down with that ball.
I myself, a minute 39 on the time of possession, not 4:39. As the Presidents have narrowed the gap now from a 10-0 score to 10-7. We're not going to count this team out until the final gun goes off, so this is going to be back and forth all night, I'm sure. Back deep for the Phantoms, Thomas Bailey standing at his 10-yard line. Turner is back there as well, along with number 7, Kevin Beckner. Price will kick off for the Presidents. And it's going to be fielded by Beckner at the 13. Looking for some blocking, and he is down at the 23-yard line. A 10-yard return for Kevin Beckner. So the Phantoms will start from their 24-yard line, leading 10-7 with 10:55 remaining in the first half.
That's the first time they have started at their end of the field. Both of the other 2 possessions they got were in the Wilson's ends of the field.
Giles, Turner, and Moore are the wishbone. Kevin Beckner is the quarterback. This is Kevin Giles, and he gets about 9 yards. That's the kind of offense that Bill D wants to see all night long. Of course, you're not going to get that kind of yardage every time, but that's what you want. 2nd and 1, 2nd and 2.
Yeah, that was a nice play. Kevin has not been their most outstanding runner. He is a good runner, but he doesn't have the speed of a Maurice Turner or Kevin Beckner, but he is a hard-nosed runner, and he got that ball and picked up 9 tough yards.
He averages 5.5 each time, so well over his average. 2nd down and a yard. And the Phantoms will play conservatively and go for the 1st down. It'll be close. Maurice Turner trying to get the 1st down. And they may have to bring the chains across to look at this one.
Well, it depends on where they're spotting it, and they spotted it short, so it is 3rd and a foot.
This Wilson team, as he said on defense, they are tough. Just 123 yards a game, a little more than 6 points. They've already given up, and now we've got movement on the right side for the Phantoms as number 87, Arna Bontemps, left a little early. And that'll cost the Phantoms 5 very important yards.
And that comes at a real bad position because that would have picked up that 1st down, which would have given them a 1st and 10. Now they're going 3rd and 5, so it really makes it tougher on your offense.
Well, Bob, have you been disappointed in any of the play you've seen, sir?
Oh, I'm sitting on the edge of my seat.
You and me both. And a full house on hand at Darling Stadium. 3rd down and about 5.5 for the Phantoms, and now an official's timeout. And we have some equipment problems on one of the Wilson players. It's been remedied, and we're ready to go. Inside handoff will not get the 1st down for the Phantoms. It'll be 4th down, and they'll have to kick the ball.
And this kick should result in good field position for the Presidents.
Chris Moore got the call and picked up about 3, maybe 4. About 3, I guess, is what he got. It's 4th down and long. A quick kick. Very little time taken by the Phantoms. A flag down. I'm not sure what that flag would be for as Van Edwards returned the ball. But a flag thrown right where the receiver was waiting for the ball.
Well, one of the Phantoms was not off the field on this side, so that may have been what it was. The Phantom was kind of jogging off the field, and well, now it's against. Well, he's pointing against the President, so that may mean.
And it's going to be against Wilson, oddly enough.
And it's a penalty before possession, so that should give the ball back to the Phantoms, and that's exactly what's going to happen. We've seen that more than once this year.
In fact, we saw it last week when a team had, while the ball was in the air, a foul occurred, and this is going to be a big one. What a break for the Phantoms.
Well, let me see what that is.
That's illegal substitution or illegal participation.
Right here. What's that say? Well, that's a loss of down.
I'm getting legal from Richard Rawls, who is the assistant commissioner for the VHSL officiating crew around here. So
well, does that mean that he had too many people on the line on the field?
And Darnell Moore is right there wanting to know from Dave Riesbeck what caused the situation. There you see Bill D as he is on the field with his team. And Wilson apparently called a timeout.
Well, Darnell Moore is very upset, and I can understand. If I was over there, I would be too. You're getting the ball, you're going to have great field position at about the 45, and all of a sudden, Phoebus has now got the ball 1st and 10 at their own 46. What a big turnaround. Not only do you not have the ball, but the other team's got it and picked up a really tough 1st down on one of your mistakes.
Give credit to Dave Riesbeck and his crew also for allowing Moore to have his say-so in the matter. They don't have to, And they want, in all fairness, wanted to explain what the situation was. It will stand as the Wilson Presidents will watch the penalty marked off against them, and the Phantoms will have new life. 8:28 remaining in the first half. Phoebus leading 10-7. The difference right now, a 48-yard field goal. Beckner pitches the ball, and it's fumbled. Kevin Giles couldn't handle it. The Presidents have got it.
What a big play, and that's one thing that you'll find that happens with the wishbone. It is a high-risk offense, on the pit, especially on the pitch. And that time, Kevin just never looked the ball into his hands. And that was Hiawatha Brown, the defender that come up with that fumble recovery. Watch this. He just was not a bad pitch. Hit him in the hands. But you got to make sure you catch the ball first.
So the Presidents take over. Sparrow with one setback. Again, all kinds of times. Got Boone wide open. Boone's got it at the 22-yard line. And he is out of bounds inside the 15.
I tell you, I'm so impressed with Aaron Sparrow. He could throw that ball across the field. He was standing at about his 45 and threw that ball on a frozen rope to the other side, and the defender was a half a step from breaking that ball up, and Boone made a nice catch.
28-yard gain on the play, and the Phantoms have called a timeout. Timeout by the Phantoms. That comes with 7:53. There you see Bill D as he assesses the situation.
Well, Bill D is kind of upset that you play such a good first two series of ball of defense, and then you allow your quarterback, the opposing quarterback, to have the time to throw the ball like he did. As you can see this on the replay, the defender came in there just a half a step late. But Darnell Moore told me that these two receivers, Boone and Van Edwards, are probably the best two receivers in the state, and they're just juniors. Of course, when you have a quarterback like Aaron Sparrow, it makes it easy.
You got a man that can throw a frozen rope 40 yards across the field like that. I'd be a good receiver, too.
I tell you, listen, while we got this little break in the action, we had the fans right in, and we pulled the names for the stadium seat, and the winner of the stadium seat
Tim Cole.
Is who?
Tim Cole.
Don't you wish. Jesse A. Wheeler. Jesse A. Wheeler is the winner of the stadium seat, and I will get that seat to him one day next week.
Him or her, as the case may be.
That's right.
All right, so Jesse Wheeler of Bonaire Drive in Hampton has won our gold-plated stadium seat.
I don't know if it's gold-plated or not.
Gold-plated part. It is a first down at the 11. This is Mike Atkins. His efforts in this game have been almost non-existent here in the first half.
Well, I don't know how many plays that the Presidents have run in the last two series that they've had the ball, but that's the first running play that they've run.
We have a flag on the play, illegal procedure against the Presidents. A gain on the play of, well, actually no gain on the play.
Well, you take the penalty when you're that close. You have to.
So they will mark off 5 against the Presidents. It'll be 1st and 15. So you saw Dave Reesbeck's signal of illegal procedure. Sparrow sets Boone wide to the near side. Fakes the trap play, looking down in the end zone. Sparrow with all kinds of time throws up a blind pass. He turned his back and never really saw where that ball went. Boone was the intended receiver, and the ball was well over his head.
Well, there was good faking on the part of Aaron Sparrow that time, but he was getting some pressure. And one thing about it is Aaron Sparrow drops back. He's very quick at dropping back, but your defenders are going to get tired of chasing him.
There you saw him fake the inside handoff to Edwards, and then Sparrow is he's just too cool. He just throws that ball up, but this was well over the head.
Well, he may have been throwing that ball away.
2nd down and 15. Ball at the 16-yard line. Straight drop back. Throws in the corner. He's got Edwards wide open. Touchdown. Made it look easy.
And nobody defended stood on him. I don't know what was happened to the defender on there. Just put the ball in the corner, and there was Van Edwards. What a quick turnaround. You're down by 10. Now you're up by 3 and possibly 4.
Price will try the extra point. We've got movement on the field and players all over the place off sides or encroachment. Let's see what the call is. It is going to be encroachment against the Phantoms. And now the Presidents may reconsider the 2-point option.
They will go again. They will go for the 2-point option. You get in there, and I'm sure I see Darnell Moore sending in Aaron Sparrow right now. Took 1 minute for that touchdown.
Well, we know that they can be explosive, and they have shown it. Van Edwards with 2 second-quarter touchdown catches. Presidents have silenced this Phoebus crowd. Sparrow gives to Atkins. Atkins, is he in or not? Yes, he is. They say a late call, but he is in for the 2-point conversion.
And I'm sure everybody was looking for a pass play. That's why it works when you have a quarterback that can pass the ball as well as Sparrow. That really opens up your running back and your running plays. And you can see this touchdown pass just laid it into the corner. And there was 2 defenders over there, but they were away from the ball. They were a good 5 yards away from the Van Edwards. And look at that. Nice job by our cameraman and Slow-Mo Joe down there in the truck.
7:16 remaining here in the first half. Thomas Bailey has just returned the kickoff out across the 35 to almost the 37-yard line. Bailey,
you can watch it on the replay, Tim.
Here's your replay as we were in a tape change, but we've got a replay for you. We try not to let you miss anything. Bailey will take it on the dead run, and he will take quite a pop there at the 37-yard line.
Well, that touchdown that the Presidents came because of a turnover, and that was one thing that we saw Phoebus not do against Hampton, is turn the ball over. And you can't turn the ball over against any team that's the caliber of the teams that gets into playoffs and be successful. So the Phoebus Phantoms are now going to have to put a drive together and get back on the board.
Dwight Wiggins making the stop on Beckner after a pickup of about 3. 2nd down and 7 for the Phantoms. 6.5 minutes remaining in the first half. First quarter was all Phoebus. The second quarter has been all Wilson. Out of the wishbone. Beckner flips to Giles, the play he fumbled on. This time he keeps the ball, stiff arms one man and keeps going. And then a late hit, no flag, but it appeared to be a late hit at least.
Well, Kevin Giles stayed on his feet and picked up that extra 2 yards. I do not know how he did that.
He actually spun around. If we have it on the replay, you'll see quite a move here. Giles will get the pitch. This is the play that he fumbled early. Had a little difficulty with that. It came in low. Watch him stiff arm one man and then another. And boy, I mean, he put number 33 down to the ground. Watch him spinning it all the way around in the air. And then the hit coming in. 3rd down and 3 for the Phantoms at their 44-yard line. Fake to Moore. Beckner keeps it, and he is going to be short of the first down. He needed to get to the 47-yard line, and he got to the 46.
You got to punt the ball. You can't give this good field position to this Wilson team. What you got to do is you got to punt them, get them deep in their own end, and hopefully they'll make a mistake, or maybe your defense can come up with a big play. You've got a good defense. You've got a lot of potential out there defensively. You've got a lot of confidence in them. So let's let the defense do it. But look what's happening.
Well, you might try and freeze them. Hard count, perhaps. Get some motion, then call a timeout before you get penalized. That's what he did. Wilson stayed at home.
That was a smart call. You have nothing to lose and a whole lot to gain.
Now, Wilson wasn't really fooled for a moment, and they showed their good discipline by staying right there. They did not budge. And they never thought for a minute that Beckner was going to go for it. I'm not so sure that there was any doubt in anyone's mind that he would not snap the ball, but then you never know about these things, right? That's why they play these games out. So Beckner, the quarterback, is also the punter. He'll stay on, and he will kick the ball. And he will be kicking into a slight wind. We didn't get a chance to mention that game time. A beautiful day today. The game time temperature in the low 60s. Just a perfect night for football, and the fans have been treated to a great game so far. But
Tim, both sidelines are full. Look at the crowds.
This is the kind of crowd you expect to have at this caliber of a game. And this has been a super one so far, and we hope you're enjoying the ball game. We'd like to hear your comments here at Channel 5. If you have some ideas or comments you'd like to make, just give us drop a line to us. Don't give us a call, but drop a line to Channel 5 WHCS, 1819 Nickerson Boulevard in Hampton.
23663.
Bailey. So Bailey is the punter. I correct myself as he kicks the ball, and it takes a President's roll out to the 30-yard line. So Kevin Beckner, who normally does the kicking, kicked that time. I caught myself saying Beckner was in deep punt formation, but in fact Bailey, who also kicks, was the young man who kicked the ball, and the Presidents will start from their 30-yard line. The Presidents from their 30 with 4:19 remaining in the half. Sparrow gives inside handoff, and not much happening there.
Well, this young man has averaged 140 yards a game on the ground this year. I bet he doesn't get 140 tonight.
Rodney Southall was the ball carrier for the Presidents. He picked up about, let's call it 3. Second down and a long 7 for the Presidents. They send their 2 lethal receivers, Edwards and Boone, to the near side, and no one is over there but one defender, Calvin Chapman. The Phantoms with single coverage. And Al Wilson takes a timeout as well, I'm not sure exactly what they're doing. Did you see that Phoebus only had one defender over there?
Yeah.
Whoa. I tell you, if I was Bill D, I would have been a little bit concerned, but apparently he wasn't.
It may have been, there was a guy that was looking, and he may be, his job is to drop back and help, but you just can't give these receivers that much room.
It scared me. I saw Edwards and Boone line up on the same side, and only one defender back for those 2 excellent receivers. The clock is stopped with 3:38 remaining here in the first half.
But just to reiterate a little bit about you saying about the fans riding in, just because Jesse Wheeler won the stadium scene doesn't mean that you can't ride in. We'd love to hear your comments, and we appreciate all those people that did ride in, and we will take to heart their comments and hopefully come up with some of their suggestions.
We also want the fans to be aware of the fact that we are not oblivious to the fact that both Hampton and Kickingham from Hampton and Warwick from Newport News are also in postseason play. We could only be at one place, and we chose what I think was as good a game as you could possibly choose. And certainly our best wishes to those other Peninsula teams. Sparrow, he's got a man wide open. He's got him at the 45-yard line, and finally a game-saving tackle, or at least a touchdown-saving tackle on Hugh Hunter, number 80, a big 6'2", 222-pound tight end.
That was Chad Hopkins, number 1, that made that stop. And that was going for a touchdown had he not made it the stop. But Aaron Sparrow just has so much time. He gonna pick any defense apart. Look at this, rolls out, puts that ball right on him, and nobody around him.
He almost dropped the ball. Sparrow again, he's got Edwards wide open at the 25. And a flag is down, however. There you see it. It would be a first down if it stands, but let's see what the call is. And apparently it's against Wilson, illegal shift. So illegal motion against the Presidents will negate the fine effort from Sparrow to Edwards. And that could be a big break for the Phantoms. They need to kind of regroup here a little bit. If you joined us late, the Phantoms leaped out on front on their first possession, 7-0. Jensen added a 48-yard field goal, and at the end of one quarter, they led 10-0. Here in the second quarter, at 11:01, Sparrow found Edwards for 18 yards, and then 16 yards just 4 minutes later. The same receiver, Edwards, and a two-point conversion makes it 15-10 with 2:53 remaining. Sparrow aligning his backfield. First down and 15. Sparrow, who has not been sacked and really has only been close to being sacked, gets the ball to Hunter. Hunter is tackled by Kevin Giles, but not before he picks up 5 yards.
Well, I watched Hunter that time. He came right out of the backfield for the Presidents. He's number, I lost his number. But anyway, why he just came right through the line and was wide open. Nobody picked him up. But number 52, Bryce Barrett, did a great job of picking him up after the ball was in the air and saved, only allowed him to pick up about 5 yards.
Second down and 10. Good effort by Bailey to knock the ball away from Ron Boone as Bailey legally stepped in and knocked the pass away.
What a great play by Bailey. If he hadn't made that play, that was a completion all the way.
You know, interestingly enough, we talked about the balanced attack of the Presidents. They have chosen to abandon the ground game here in the first half. Coming into this game, Sparrow only threw the ball 127 times in 8 games, or about 15 times per game.
Well, he's thrown it more than 15 already to this first half.
I would think he has.
And he's checking off at the line of scrimmage. He does that a lot.
2 minutes to go. He's got all day. Finally gets a little bit of pressure. Throws, and he's got his man, and he can't hold on to it, or did he?
No,
Yes.
he was down when he caught the ball. He had his knee down, so that is a completed pass, but it's not enough for a first down.
It's going to be 4th down and 5 for the Presidents.
That's a good call. That was a good call.
Well, the only question was, did he have control of the ball before?
Oh, yeah, he did. And as soon as he caught the ball and his knee was down, the play is dead. He could fumble it after. That makes no difference.
You make the judgment for yourself. Here's Sparrow scrambling and throwing.
Now watch as he catches the ball. His knee is down. That's it.
Yep.
I mean, the play, he's already down. So
let's face it, the official was right on the play.
Great call.
4th down and 5. Sparrow going for it, gets some pressure, throws the ball up. He's got a man open. He's got Hunter at the 15-yard line. He is unbelievable.
The pressure that the Phantoms are putting under, and Maurice Turner is just so upset because he's putting a lot of pressure on him, and he's still throwing the ball off with a lot of pressure, off balance, and finding wide open receivers.
That's got to be demoralizing for you when you put a great rush on the young man. There you see Sparrow not, throwing the ball as he is hit, and there is his man wide open. That's Ron Boone. Now the Phantoms take a timeout with 1:04 remaining in the half.
Well, that's their final timeout, but Bill D has got to do something. He's got to get these people squared away. You can't let them go in, pick up another 7 yards, and now you got to pick up 2 scores in the second half just to get back in the ball game. Well, Phoebus is not as explosive team as this Wilson team is.
There's no question about that. As the game is close at this point, another score here by the Presidents would really be a major problem for the Phantoms, because that would put them behind by about 12 points, or at least 2 scores. And it's hard to play catch-up against a team like Wilson. And Sparrow's just having a super night. He has come, as they say, cream rises to the top. He has really shown his wear so far in the first half.
Well, what impresses me about this team is they went down by 10 points. They didn't give up but 7 points in the last 5 ball games, and already at the end of the first quarter, you're down 10-0, and you can't seem to do anything right. And then all of a sudden, Bailey goes for an interception, does not get it. Had he got it, that would have been 17-0. They get the ball. That gives them a little emphasis. They go down and they score. Phoebus turns the ball over. They go down and they score.
Sparrow is a magician with the football. He looks like he's going to be sacked. He looks like he's in trouble. And he just, as nonchalantly as you can be, lays the ball out there to a wide open receiver. He has great vision on the field. So it's first down at the 13-yard line with 1:04 remaining. Sparrow again checking off. One setback. He's got his two wide receivers, Edwards and Boone, to the near side. And he goes over the middle to a wide open player. That was Hunter again. And he just dropped the football.
Well, and that was a great call by Sparrow. Nobody was on that man. Hey,
that's the man that's been open for the last 3 catches. They're emphasizing Boone and Edwards, as well they should, but you've got to cover these other men. Hunter coming off the line as a tight end has been wide open. Here's your replay. The fake to Atkins, and then Hunter. Look at Hunter. It's just wide open. It was just a poorly thrown ball, actually.
Well, that's the first poorly thrown ball we've seen, but it was a nice call by Sparrow because he called that play at the line of scrimmage.
If he threw the ball well, it would be 22-10. Sparrow inside of a minute to go. Feels a little bit of pressure. Throws in the end zone through the hands of Boone, the intended receiver.
Wow. But every one of his receivers are open.
Boone at 6'4", of course, has that height to begin with, and then he's quite a leaper, so you have an extra dimension in his ability to receive the ball. It brings up a third down for the Presidents at the 13 with 54 seconds remaining. Of course, when you have the quickness of passing that the Presidents have, it doesn't take much time.
And look at it, running 3 wide receivers to the right-hand side, so that defensive, the end on the other side is
Sparrow, and he's got it in the corner, but he will not get it in bounds as Edwards was 2 steps out.
And Edwards caught the ball.
There you see the story. The visitors, Wilson 15, the Phantoms, the home team 10, with 47 seconds remaining.
And they're going for the field goal, which will put them up by 8, which means a touchdown and a 2-point conversion would tie the game up for the Phantoms. So, yeah, field goal a whole lot better than a touchdown.
Richard Price will try the 30-yard attempt out of Van Edwards' hold. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So we've had a field goal for each side. This is a 30-yard field goal by Richard Price. And that's a good point to remember, Bob, that there is the 2-point conversion in high school ball. So should the Phantoms score a touchdown, they could in fact tie the ball game with the 2-point conversion. But that's, with all the points, at least I finally got one thing right. It looks like we're going to have a high-scoring ball game. The Presidents, after trailing 10-0, have responded with 18 consecutive points, 2 touchdowns, a 2-point conversion, and a 30-yard field goal. So 57 yards on the drive, 10 plays, and it took a minute 53. I'll trust our man over the PA guy. Gary Moore, Computerland, giving us our stats. This is Hopkins at the 20-yard line. And a flag.
Well, now that could be a face mask or a illegal block. We'll see what Dave Respect calls. Holding against the Phantoms.
That was Chapman returning the ball, not Hopkins. So
well, that'll move them back, but you got 35 seconds, and if you're Phoebus, you just want to get out, get back, get out of here, don't turn the ball over, run the clock out, and let's make some adjustments during halftime.
Holding is the call against the Phantoms. Wilson has 1 timeout remaining here in the first half. Phoebus has none. And as you said, I'm sure Phoebus would be quite content just to get the 30 seconds off the clock and regroup for what should be a terrific second half. Beckner inside handoff to Chris Moore out to the 20. And unless the Wilson team decides to use their final timeout, that could be the last play of the first half. We saw Aaron Sparrow previously, and I'm just as impressed today as I was then.
Well, I'm more impressed. He is stronger. A young man, he's an amazing young man. Not only is he on the honor roll, and last year ended up with a 3.2 average, but he goes down to the elementary school and reads to the, they have a reading program where he goes down and reads to the elementary school kids. They go to the junior high schools and they talk at assemblies as a way to keep the kids into school, and great role models. These young men just do a great job over there at Wilson.
So we've played 24 minutes here at Darling Stadium in the Eastern Regional Division 5 semifinals, and after 2 quarters, the Wilson Presidents lead the Phoebus Phantoms 18-10. We'll return to Darling Stadium with our second half of action after this brief timeout.
Alternative viewing from WHCS TV5.
Let's have a big phantom round of applause for all of our marching phantoms. Our flag for the majorette. We're co-coordinated.
Bob Hintz with Tim Cole back here at Darling Stadium. Halftime score, Phoebus 10, the Wilson Presidents 18. Tim has got the halftime statistics that we will give you as you see the Phoebus marching band coming off the field. Tim, take it away.
All right. At halftime, the Presidents with 8 first downs, 4 for the Phantoms. Third down efficiency for the Presidents, 1 out of 5 as the same for the Phantoms. 185 total net yards for the Presidents, while just 64 for Phoebus. Most of the yardage for the Presidents came in the passing lanes, with Sparrow hitting 11 of 22 for 178 yards. No interceptions. The Phantoms did not throw the ball at all in the first half. They ran the ball a total of 23 times for a net 64 yards. Individual statistics: Atkins had 2 carries for 4 yards. Southall 1 for 3, a total of only 7 yards rushing for the Presidents. This is a balanced attack that averages more than 160 yards rushing under normal circumstances. But what they lacked in running, they made up in passing with 11 of 22 for 178. Boone had 5 catches for 88 yards, the longest at 27. Hunter had 3 catches for 53 yards, the longest of 31. And Van Edwards also 3 catches for 37 yards, the longest was 17. 2 touchdowns for Van Edwards, a 2-point conversion as well for the Presidents. Rushing for the Phantoms, Beckner with 30 yards on 8 carries. Giles had 5 carries, a net of 13 yards, and he fumbled once. Chris Moore 6 carries for 12, and Maurice Turner just 4 carries for 9 yards. So Maurice Turner has been effectively shut down here in the first half.
Well, I tell you, Tim, this game is a close game. The statistics show that the Presidents are doing much better all around, but there's a couple of plays that could have turned this ball game around. A near interception by Thomas Bailey would have made a big difference, but Aaron Sparrow is by far heads and shoulders above any quarterback I have seen this year in many years. He reminds me a whole lot of Eric Hunter, except I think he's a little bit better passer than Eric, but not as good a runner as Eric Hunter was. But what a young athlete.
He's more agile than Hunter was as far as moving either a moving pocket or avoiding the rush, whereas Hunter was more of a drop-back passer. It would seem that Sparrow can do it any way he wants to do it.
Well, he throws the ball well, backing up off of the wrong foot across the field. He just is an amazing athlete to be in high school and to do as well as he has done. I look for Phoebus to open it up a little bit. They're going to have to do something. They get the ball at the beginning of this second a half, and they've got to take the ball. They got to reestablish their offense. I do look for them to do some things a little bit different. They may pass the ball. You see that's the second-string quarterback that is throwing there. That's Troy Edge, and he's warming up on the field. Also, may see Tom Bailey throw it, and Kevin Beckner can throw the ball. I look for Phoebus to open the ball game up a little bit and loosen that defense of the Patriots up. Not the Patriots, the Presidents. I'll get it right.
There's no reason for them to panic at this point either, though. They've got to stay with what had gotten them here, and that's the ground control possession football. And I think the Phantoms don't want to get too careless and try to catch up.
No, and I don't mean that they will be careless. I think that they will have to open it up. They've got to loosen that defense of the Wilsons up just a bit. That will make their running game and their control game a little bit better.
Richard Price has the foot in the ball, and it's fielded at the 18-yard line. This is Kevin Beckner, and Beckner is out to the 33-yard line where the Phantoms will set up 1st and 10. Phantoms open the scoring with a 48-yard drive. Beckner going the final 7 yards. Jensen's extra point was good, and then Jensen added a 48-yard field goal with just 40 seconds remaining in the first quarter to make it 10-0 Phantoms. But then in the second quarter, Wilson, on the passing strength of Aaron Sparrow, threw 18 and 16-yard touchdown passes to Van Edwards and 2-point conversion and a 30-yard field goal with just 42 seconds remaining in the half. And that accounts for the 18 points for the Presidents. This is Maurice Turner.
Well, I watched the defense that time, even though Phoebus put a split in and a flanker to both sides of the field. They spread the defense, but everybody was within 4 yards of the line of scrimmage. Even the deep men were up tight. So you are basically trying to run against an 11-man line, so to speak. You've got to loosen that defense up a little bit.
Gain of a yard for Turner. 2nd down and 9 for the Phantoms. They've got Chris Williamson wide to the left and the wishbone intact. Beckner, quick look-in pass, almost made the catch, was Bontemps, but the ball just bounced off of his hands.
Well, we have not seen Thomas Bailey play flanker yet, and he is coming into the ball game. He will play flanker. He will run from the halfback position. He will play fullback. He does a lot of things. He is a good athlete.
Here's your replay. Watch a real quick fake and then over the middle for Bontemps. He just couldn't hold on to it, just too hot to handle. He wouldn't have gotten much had he made the catch. But it's 3rd down and 9 for the Phantoms. Beckner on the reverse to Bailey. Bailey is in trouble in the backfield, and he'll be thrown for a loss.
And I tell you, Wilson was not faked out at all by that reverse.
So the Phantoms will have to punt the ball with a 4th down and 16.
Bailey is dropped for a 6-yard loss by the President.
Beckner not doing the punting as he has most recently. Bill D is going with Bailey at the punting position. His kick is a pretty good one, fielded at the 38-yard line. And Van Edwards showing his running ability.
Well, he has run back some punts and kickoffs this year. I watched a film against Great Bridge. He scored 5 times. One of them was on a punt return and had 2 of them called back. He had quite a game in that contest.
So the Presidents, on the strength of the fine return by Van Edwards, start in Phoebus territory at the 47-yard line.
34 yards on the punt. The Presidents will put them on the play. 1st and 10.
A 34-yard kick for Thomas Bailey. First time we've seen motion from the Presidents. This is Atkins looking for some running room. And Atkins is pulled down as he crosses the 45. Maurice Turner got an arm on it. And he will have the ball marked at the 43-yard line, a pickup of 5.
Atkins is stripped up on the play by the Phantoms, number 22, Maurice Turner.
Check that, a pickup of 4 on the play. 2nd down and 6.
Pickup of 4. 2nd down and 6.
Well, that's the first time we have seen motion tonight. And here we go again. They're showing something different and they're running they're working a running game.
Could have been it looked like two men were in motion there for a moment because Boone was setting up on the far left side, and he never really set. He was in motion while number 45 was in motion.
Well, it wasn't called, but that's a good point.
Third down and 3 for Wilson. Sparrow has run the ball twice in a row as the Presidents start to show a little more of a balanced attack here in the second half. Sparrow, quick look in for Edwards. He's got it. He's got a first down and then some as he's finally thrown out of bounds at the 21-yard line. So Edwards shows not only does he have good hands, but he knows what to do with the ball after he catches it.
I tell you, he's a fine young athlete, Van Edwards. Number 21, he's just a junior. He's only 5'8", and he weighs 175 pounds, but he is very adept when he gets the ball, as you can watch on the replay. And Tom Bailey's trying to tackle with his hands, and you can't stop a good running back by hand tackling. You got to put a shoulder in him.
First down at the 22. Van Edwards coming into the game with 35 catches, 764 yards. He averages 21.8 yards every time he catches the ball. This is Sparrow on the option, and Sparrow shows his running abilities.
Called his own number. Again, Aaron Sparrow makes a lot of those calls at the line of scrimmage.
On the stop for the Phoebus Phantoms was number 33, Kevin Giles. I'll pick up of 9 yards on the play, second down.
9 yards for Aaron Sparrow on the play. There you see our time remaining in the third quarter. A little more than 8 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. Third quarter.
Watch a pass in the end zone.
Sparrow again keeps on the quarterback option. He'll score. He's doing it all over the field.
Aaron Sparrow on a keeper, and he goes in 15 yards to the score.
And now you really put a lot of pressure on the Phoebus Phantoms. You got to think that we got to start doing something to get some points on the board. The last time we had the ball, we went 1, 2, 3 and punt.
Third quarter score, 21, Warwick 13.
Rice puts the ball through the uprights. And the Presidents now are on top by 2 touchdowns, 24-10. Here's your replay. Watch Sparrow. He just rolls to the right. I don't even know that he considered passing at all. He was running all the way. And right here, watch the cutback right here.
Made a great cutback.
Well, is he going to make some college real happy?
Well, I tell you, Virginia would love to get a hold of him.
47 yards in 5 plays, and it took 2 minutes and 3 seconds.
5 plays, 47 yards. 1:53 is all it took for Sparrow to lead his team downfield, and he capped it with a 13-yard touchdown run. That was more indicative or more of an example of the Wilson actual offense. They mixed up their running plays with their passes.
They didn't just pass the ball that time. You're correct.
Kickoff taken at the 18-yard line. This is Kevin Giles.
Well, that's Kevin. I believe that's Maurice Turner with the ball.
Excuse me, is that Turner? You're right. I'm sorry. So Turner returns the kick to the 36-yard line. And they trail by 15. I said by 2 touchdowns. But in fact, they trail by 2 touchdowns and a 1-point and a 2-point conversion. So the Phantoms now find themselves in a situation where they need to get a sustained drive going and get back on the scoreboard. And this is Chris Moore. Chris Moore struggling out to the 43. Pickup of 7 on the play.
Well, that's what you got to do. You got to pick up 4, 5, 6 yards on that first play, and it looks like Moore picked up at least 6.
Pick up on 7 yards on the play, second down and 3. The ball will be outside the Phantoms' 42-yard line.
7:20 remaining in the third quarter. Tim Cole with Bob Hintz coming to you from Darling Stadium. You're watching the game between the Woodrow Wilson Presidents and Aaron Sparrow and the Phoebus Phantoms. And Maurice Turner, their star player, recovers the fumble And I believe Beckner is shaken up on the play, or maybe he's just upset with himself. And he gets up all right.
But now you had a second and 3, and now you got a third and 10. So you lost what you picked up on the first play. That's not what Bill D wants to do.
Here's your replay.
And it's just a nice defensive play and makes him pitch the ball a little quicker than what he maybe wanted to. But that was a good pitch.
Yeah, it didn't really look like
Maurice just took his eyes off the ball.
Back to the live action. Beckner, same play, different results this time. Maurice Turner bobbing and weaving his way to a first down. And we've got an injured Phantom back behind the play. Loading it up is 73. That's TJ Shield. But it is a first down for the Phantoms, a very crucial first down.
Well, that was a big play. Watch the replay. It's a pitch. This time Maurice gets the ball and he knows he's got to get it, but look who's leading the interference down there. Kevin Giles, 33, is blocking 2 people, and that's why he picked up the first down. What a great job by Kevin.
46-yard line of Phoebus. And there's Chris Moore for almost 10. Actually, he may have gotten 10.
Gavin Beckner hands it off to number 44, Chris Moore.
It'll be close to a first down.
Moore will take the ball over midfield into President's territory, where he's caught from behind.
And
We're
they
going to have time out to check the measurement. Okay, Eagle Eye, we haven't had to call on your Eagle Eye. You're in straight line. What is it?
He got it by the nose of the football.
Uh-oh, okay.
Well, then again, maybe not.
Oh, Eagle Eye. He is short by the nose.
Bad spot.
Bad mark.
Well, that's all right. Second down and inches is better than first and 10. Right?
There you go.
It's a versatile down.
You can do a lot with this down.
That's right. 6:11 remaining in the third quarter. Phantoms trailing by 15. This is Turner for the first down at the 40.
Gavin Beckner hands off to number 22, Maurice Turner.
So Maurice Turner, who was held to just 6 yards in the first half, has opened up his part of the game substantially.
And Kevin looks like he's hurt. He needs somebody to come in for him. But the coaches don't see him. He looks like he hurt an arm or something.
Beckner, you say?
No, Maurice Turner.
You might have seen him in the replay there go down hard on that right shoulder. That might have been the play. This is Beckner along the line of scrimmage, and he is dragged out of bounds.
Number 7, Kevin Beckner on a keeper.
Dwight Wiggins on the play, number 81 for the Presidents. Thomas Bailey will come in with a play, replacing Calvin Chapman for the Phantoms. Clock stops with 5:35 remaining. There you see the Phoebus cheerleaders here in force tonight. What appears to be almost a sellout crowd here at Darling Stadium. And they have to be impressed with both of these two teams. There you saw Beckner giving it his all for no gain. Beckner, short drop, wants to throw, hit a man, only the man he hit was 42 for the Wilson Presidents, Curtis Swan, and that was almost picked off.
That was not a well-thrown ball.
Just didn't get any arch on the ball. He threw it right at Swan.
Number 42, Curtis Swan. Incomplete pass is going to bring up third down and a long kick.
Third down and 10 for the Phantoms, and now they want to take a timeout to discuss this play, a very crucial third down, as they are just shy of the Wilson 40.
Well, while we have the timeout, let me talk about the player of the game, and we're going to pick a player of the game from the Phoebus Phantoms, and we will give them a plaque. The plaque is donated by DC Engraving. This is a sample of metal photo. DC Engraving is located in York Village Shopping Center on Route 17 in Grafton, and Dave Buckwalter is the owner and operator of that place, and he's asking you to come on out and see some of what he's got. Also, we're going to give a t-shirt, not a t-shirt actually, it's a staff shirt with the player of the game on it that'll be donated by Turnus Hardware and Sports Place in Willow Oak Shopping Center. It also has another convenient location in Denby Hardware and Sporting Good located in Denby Square. And they have a new store, which is at the shops at Hampton Harbor next to Hampton University. And Dave Chubb and Bruce Hatch are the two people you want to see there for all your sporting good needs. And also want to thank Turner's and the Sports Place for donating the stadium seat that Jesse Wheeler of Bon Air Drive in Hampton will be the recipient of.
So the Phantoms looking at a crucial 3rd down and 10. The ball just short of the Wilson 40-yard line. And Beckner will go back to pass. He wants to throw. He throws for Bailey across the middle. Did Bailey hold on to it? Yes, he did.
What a nice catch by Thomas Bailey. That ball was well thrown. He ran a great route. And that, as you said, Tim, was a big 3rd down play. Takes the ball down to the 14. What a nice catch and throw. And Beckner has not been noted to pass much. And here we see him. He drops back, has a lot of time. He's got a nice tight spiral on that ball and put it right where only Thomas Bailey could catch it.
Excellent throw and catch by the Phantoms. A 1st down at the 14 of Wilson. On the delay, this is Chris Moore, a flag down. As Moore gets inside the 10.
We get another flag down, number 66, roughing the quarterback, Kevin Beckner, but the first one may have been against the Phoebus, so we may have offsetting penalties. We'll see.
We'll let Dave Riesbeck work this one out as he will talk to the Wilson presidents as well.
That was quite a run by Chris Moore. He had the ball. We have holding against Phoebus and personal foul, roughing the passer against the Presidents, and they both offset. But Chris Moore had the ball, was stopped at the line of scrimmage, and then ended up picking up about 5 yards. Nobody knew he had the ball. Because we're going to replay that down.
Once again, it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Phoebus. Set up the ball at the President's 14-yard line.
Well, we got a flag on the field bagger. Get it picked up. Here we go.
So offsetting penalties with 4:50 remaining in the 3rd. It remains 1st and 10 at the 14. Down close to the 10-yard line. That is Maurice Turner.
Kevin Beckner hands it off to number 33, Kevin Giles.
Check that, Giles carrying the ball.
Well, I thought that was Giles. He's more of a power runner than a finesse runner like Maurice.
On the President's 10-yard line.
Pick up a 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Number 23, John Simon, and number 88, Herbert Gibbs.
We had a man on the field, but they didn't throw the flag, and I don't understand
I can't believe that either. He had not cleared the official on the far side of the field. I really felt they should have thrown a flag. He had not gotten past the official on the sidelines. But no flag is thrown, so the play stands. It is a no gain. And
I think that's what Kevin Giles saw that. I'm sorry, Kevin Beckner saw that and was a quick snap, knowing he was going to get a penalty on the play and did not get it. But you're right. That guy was a good 10 yards from the sideline.
Beckner again wants to throw, and it is knocked away at the last second. Bontemps was the intended receiver, and no flags on the play.
Well, do you go for the 3 points, Tim, or do you try to pick up the 1st down? You got 4th down, the ball's on the 10, and we're going to call a timeout because that means the ball be kicked from about the 17, which would be a 27-yard line, which is well in the range of that, the kicker for the Phantoms. Nice defensive play that time, as you can see on replay.
Good defensive effort, and again, Beckner had a pretty good throw on the way to Bontemps. Beckner not throwing all that much this year. In fact, I was kidding Bill D before the game that against Lafayette they doubled their season's passing totals with 175 yards in that one game.
We also want to welcome the viewers over in Newport News on Channel 36. They are getting our games the Friday and Saturday. The Saturday and Sunday after the week after we play them. So we appreciate any cards or letters or comments from them. Also send them to WHCS Channel 5 at 1819 Nickerson Boulevard in Hampton, Virginia 23663. And we appreciate all the help from Channel 36 and Newport News.
Those games on 36 air, as you said, Bob, at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays. They've been carrying our games, including games that involve Hampton schools, and we are certainly happy to have Channel 36.
Well, if they don't want to get up, set the timer and tape the game.
There you go. Fourth down, the Phantoms in a do-or-die situation. Beckner getting all kinds of pressure, throws up a prayer, and we had contact in the end zone, no flag. Bailey was the intended receiver. I really think that was a good no call. So the Wilson Presidents now will have the ball just across.
Watch this on the replay, Tim. Kevin is getting a lot of pressure, and it's a good pass. But there is some bumping in the end zone right there, but it was deemed incidental contact.
Well, they were both playing the ball, and I think it was a good no call. So the Wilson Presidents with Aaron Sparrow at the helm. They've got Edwards to the left, Boone to the right. And the handoff goes, a flag, late flag coming down.
Hands it off to number 32, Mike Atkins.
Mike Atkins carries for the Presidents. 3:11 remaining in the third quarter, 25-10 in favor of the Wilson Presidents. They have scored 25 unanswered points since the Phantoms led 10-0 at the end of the first quarter. It's going to have a call against the Presidents. It would be a holding call. We'll see the Phantoms discussing the options with Dave Respect, the referee for tonight's ball game.
Well, that's going to take it half the distance to the goal line, which will take it down to about the 6. So, yes, put them back as far as you can. Limit their options.
The Presidents is holding. That is half the distance to the goal. It's going to be first down in a long 15. The ball will be outside the President's 5-yard line.
Edwards comes to the near side, Boone to the far side. Sparrow drops back, he's in the end zone, and he throws. That could be an intentional grounding call, but there isn't one forthcoming, much to the chagrin of the Phoebus fans.
Well, he was getting a lot of pressure, and he had nowhere to go, but there was a player in the vicinity. When I say in the vicinity, within maybe 8-9 yards.
Here's your replay. Sparrow has Edwards. That's Edwards who's working on Thomas Bailey. And then Sparrow in the grasp in the end zone just threw that ball away and got away with it. Credit him with a good play. Stopping the clock with 2:47 remaining.
Well, he's got his two best receivers over here on the right side.
And he throws the ball too tall for Rod Boone.
Well, I tell you, they run such good routes. When they make their break, they're wide open. That was just not a good pass, and it brings up a third and long.
And all the big third downs become crucial now, and this is a real crucial one because if the Phantoms really hope to have a chance to get back in this ball game, they've got to stop the Presidents, and they've got to do it pretty quickly.
And they need to get a score before the end of the third quarter. They really do. And we've got 2 minutes and 41 seconds to go.
Here's Sparrow standing in his own end zone, has all day. Throws, he's got Atkins behind the pack. And he'll get him at the 3-yard line. Well,
That was just plain poor coverage. There was 2 defensive men back there. Nobody stayed with the receiver, and you got to. I mean, Aaron Sparrow had time to throw out of his end zone, but the defensive coverage that time was poor.
Here you see 32 to the left bottom of your screen coming out of the backfield. He is being guarded by Maurice Turner. Turner comes up and does not stay with Atkins, and Atkins gets behind him, and then it's a foot race and a touchdown-saving tackle by Chad Hopkins, as Atkins just almost ran all the way in. He got him right at the 3-yard line. Back to the live action. Aaron Sparrow gives to Atkins. He is tripped up at the 4, so a loss on the play. So the Phantoms had the Presidents where they wanted them. They had him 3rd down and long. Sparrow in his own end zone and couldn't get him. He's done that all night long, and Sparrow is just so elusive, and he's got so many different people. You know, the problem is you key on Edwards, you key on Boone, you key on Hunter, and then they kill you with a toss to the halfback coming out of the backfield.
And a second remaining in the 3rd quarter. They are leading the Phoebus Phantoms 25-10.
So the Phantoms will take a timeout.
Ladies and gentlemen, a 4th quarter score. Warwick 25, Deep Creek 21.
Partial scores coming in as the evening progresses. Warwick ahead at this point of Deep Creek. Of course, as you watch this game, you'll know all the final results. The games played tonight: Hampton and Maury, Kickingham against First Colonial, and Warwick against Deep Creek. Besides this game, the Peninsula very well represented with these 4 teams.
Well, and those 4 teams that are representing the Peninsula District, their only losses came to the other top 4 teams except for one, and that was one loss that Bethel put on Warwick. Outside of that, everybody's loss came within the Kickingham, Phoebus, Warwick, and Hampton.
Back to the situation at hand. Sparrow wants to throw. He throws to Boone in the end zone. It's tipped out of bounds. And good coverage, and the famous Phantom defender on the play, as well as Boone, are both slow to get up. That is Thomas Bailey, who has drawn the unenviable assignment of trying to guard against Ron Boone tonight.
Well, I tell you, Thomas Bailey has played just one whale of a game tonight. He has been both offensively and defensively been on just about everything, and he is my leading candidate right now for the player of the game, Thomas Bailey.
The Phoebus defense has not given up, so, you know, it's 3rd down and goal as the Presidents had a 1st and goal to the 3, and after 3 downs, they're still not in there. Now Sparrow will race for the corner, and he won't get in. What an effort by the Phoebus defense.
3 defensive ball players, and one of them, Kevin Beckner, made the hit. And they got the ball. Phoebus ended up with the ball. What a big turnover for the, I don't know who came up with the ball.
Watch the replay. You see Sparrow.
Let's see who ended up with that ball. Well, you can see he's carrying it pretty loosely, and there's Kevin Beckner hitting him, and then he gets hit by 2 more. Kevin Giles comes in.
On the stop for the Phoebus Phantoms was number 7, Kevin Beckner. Also in on that tackle.
Okay, you see who come up with the ball. Looks like.
No, we can't keep going.
It was the 3rd man in that group between Kevin. I couldn't catch the number.
So now the Phantoms dodged the bullet as the Presidents had a golden opportunity to ice this ball game, and they've had it slip through their fingers, at least temporarily, as the Phantoms come up with the turnover.
Well, they got a long way to drive, but I tell you that you talk about dodging a bullet and coming up with a big defensive play.
Moore picks up 2 yards on the play. Making initial contact on that play for the President was number 55, Anthony Odom. 2nd down and 8.
1 minute remains in the 3rd quarter. So far, unofficially for the evening, Sparrow is 13 of 27 for 288 yards. And of course, the greatest majority of that came on that last long pass and catch to Atkins, because Sparrow only in the third quarter has only completed 2 passes. It may seem like he's done more than that, but in fact, just 2 pass completions. But one of those was for about 90 yards.
Yeah.
Does help your average, doesn't it?
Yeah, picks your average up a bit.
20 seconds remaining in the third. Beckner on the option, keeps, and he will not get the first down, so the Phantoms will have to kick. And that will undoubtedly be the last play of the third quarter. So the Phantom kicking team coming on the field actually needs to turn around and head to the other end of the field.
They got to walk clear down to the other end of the field. Wow. This game has got everything that you would want. What a nice facility this Darling Stadium is to hold a crowd. This is a huge crowd. This is as big as any crowd we've seen this year. And the biggest crowd, I think, is when Hampton played Warwick. We had a huge crowd here, and it is very similar to that crowd, Tim. This place is packed.
12 minutes remaining in the season for one of these two teams. The Phantoms, as we said, leaped out on top 10-0, only to see the Presidents now with 25 unanswered points. The only points in the third quarter were those put on the board by Aaron Sparrow on a 13-yard scamper, and twice made the extra point good. And that's how we stand now, 25-10, as the Phantoms find themselves trailing by 15 points. But they have dodged what would have been the fatal bullet, if I may. Had the Presidents gone in this last time, I really think the game would have virtually been over with, having a 22-point lead. And with Aaron Sparrow's offense and the defense of the Presidents, it would have been very difficult, and it still is a difficult chore for the Phantoms at this point. But they're still alive. Now they're looking at a 4th down and 5, and obviously they have to kick the ball. Thomas Bailey, who is punting tonight, and Beckner had been doing most of the punting prior to this game. Bailey will be standing in his own end zone. One man back for the Presidents. That is Van Edwards. And Bailey really gets a hold of one. He kicks this ball in the air to the 40-yard line. And Edwards has touched the ball. The ball is loose.
What a bad play by Van Edwards if they lose that ball, because he should have let it go, but Bailey kicked that ball out of his end zone, and it's down. That's a 70-yard boot.
It was in the
from
air.
Where he kicked it. Of course, the ball,
yards.
The line of scrimmage is at the 10.
They're still trying to figure out whose ball this is. This is such a crucial call here. The Phantoms have got new life, and they do.
That's number 89 for the
It's Rodney Reese, number 89, who may have come up with that football. He and Bailey were the last two Phantoms up, but the ball is in possession of Phoebus.
Bailey kicked the ball and almost got the recovery. Did I tell you something about Mr.
Bailey's kick was phenomenal. That was a 60-yard from the line of scrimmage kick, ultimately, and the fumble recovery for the Phantoms. Beckner flips the ball. This is Maurice Turner. Turner and a flag down. Here's
watch this punt.
Recovery. Watch Edwards here. This is silly of him to try and pick it up at this point. He should have just let the ball go dead. A real foolish play on the part of Van Edwards, and with all of his credentials, you would
just
have
get away from the
get
ball.
away from that ball. And a face mask call against the Presidents will give the Phantoms good field position.
Penalty is going to move the ball inside the President's 15 down to the 14-yard
14-yard line, so do not ring the death knell yet for the Phantoms.
Well, right now, the Presidents are shooting themselves in the foot.
Kevin Beckner over the center. This is Chris Moore, and Chris Moore is across the 10 down to the 8-yard line.
Kevin Beckner hands it off to number 44, Curtis Moore. On the stop for the President.
Well, he picked up about 5 or 6 tough yards right up the middle.
Well, the Phantoms need to score. They need to score quickly. They really have to get back in this game pretty rapidly here. The clock is moving with 10:42 remaining. And the Phantoms with a golden opportunity. The ball at the Wilson 8. This is the second man through. This is Turner dragging tacklers for maybe a yard.
Kevin Beckner hands it off to number 22, Maurice Turner.
Phantoms driving, but they're using time off that clock.
Maurice Turner does a great job of following his blockers, but that time the Presidents did a good job of defending, as you can see, and there was just nowhere for him to go, and he only picked up about a yard on a play, or maybe 2. Looks like it's 3rd and 3.
And Kevin Giles will be close to the first down and be close. He did not get the first. This Wilson defense only allowed 60 yards a game on the ground. And they're showing why, as they have stuffed the Phantoms now, and it's going to be 4th down and about 2 feet.
Have we had some big plays tonight, Tim? 4th and 1
after another.
And the ball is on, what, the 5-yard line? You got to get it to the 4.
Beckner on the quarterback keeper has the first down.
Well, he was not to be denied, and that offensive line did a great job of firing off the ball, and they just pushed the President defensive line back about 3 yards.
That's a real valid point, and I think the recognition of that offensive line is forthcoming.
I need to talk about
it. They control the line. This is
look
the play
at
before that.
Well, that's the play before, but we're talking Sean Selby at center, Stephon Jameson and Tim Little at guards, Derwin Howard and T.J. Shields at tackle. That's the center of that line.
First and goal, and Kevin Giles is stacked up. Oh, what a nice defensive play by number 80.
That number 80 came out of nowhere and was in the backfield.
Hugh Hunter just shot the gap and really did a nice job on that play. He was instrumental in those offensive drives earlier. So we're seeing his two-way abilities here for the Presidents.
Loss of about a yard on the play. 2nd and goal for the Phantoms.
2nd and goal at the 3.
3-yard line.
8:27, the clock moving. This is Beckner. He is stacked up, nothing happening. So the Phantoms just really using an awful lot of time here. They've got to get the ball in the end zone.
We got a tape change here, Tim.
All right, we'll be back with the conclusion of this ball game right after this brief timeout. 3rd down and goal. The flip comes to Maurice Turner, and that play was doomed from the beginning. The whole sequence of plays just didn't work.
Another big play. 4th and goal, but you now from the 7 lost 3 yards on that play.
The Phantoms chose to go to the short side of the field, and the penetration was instantaneous by the Presidents. They just never had a chance for that play to succeed. They being the Phantoms. So now it's 4th and goal, and basically this is the ball game on the line. 7:43 remaining. Beckner throws behind. Bontemps threw it just too quickly, and the ball goes over on down. 2nd time here in the ball game that the Presidents have held on 4th down.
Well, at the early part of the telecast, I mentioned that I didn't think that the Presidents' defense was as tough as the Phantoms, but they have proved me wrong. They came up with 2 great goal line stands. Twice the Phoebus Phantoms were in scoring position. Twice they came away empty. And with the clock down to 7:40, not getting a score then really hurts the Phantoms.
flag down on the play.
Well, there was only 10 men on the line of scrimmage, on the field for the Presidents.
You know, we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that this Wilson team is the defending Division V state champions. And they had a lot of good ball players on that team that are back, so take nothing away from the effort of the Phantoms so far. They've played a super ball game. They're playing a team that's been there before. Holding will be the call against the Presidents, so they have continued to hurt themselves here in the second half. And it's not been a well-played second half, but the Presidents have played well enough.
Yes. When it came down to crunch time, they kept the Phantoms out of the end zone twice, 2 times with 1st and goal.
You know, give credit too to that Phoebus defense on that goal line stand where they forced Sparrow to fumble the ball. They could have easily just given this game up for lost.
Absolutely, and I'm not. You're right.
No, you're not. I'm just coming to their defense in the defense, because they really did a super job of not giving up in that case. This is Atkins, the 1,400-yard gamer this year. He's got 1,400, averages 142 yards per game, but he's certainly gotten nowhere near that tonight.
Pick up on 5 yards on the play.
Gain of 5 by Atkins. It brings up a second down and about, well, let's call it 7 for the Presidents. Clock moving with 6:45 remaining in the fourth quarter. 25-10. Woodrow Wilson spotted Phoebus 10 points and then have put on 25 of their own and lead by 15. You may be able to hear some of the Phoebus coaches in the background giving instruction down to the field as they see things develop. Sparrow on the 1-yard line, throws, and it's incomplete. Good hit put on the intended receiver, and that was number 88, Herbert Gibbs, as Sparrow has not hesitated to go to alternate receivers tonight.
No, and that's Chad Hopkins, number 1, put quite a hit on number 88. Wow, what a hit.
Gibbs is 6'3", 218, and Hopkins is 6 foot, 175, but he gave him a, watch this hit right here. You can see it on the tail end of the play as Hopkins cut him in half. Stopping the clock with 6:21 to go. And this is Boone. Boone gets by one defender, and he's got the first down. Saron Boone out to the 24-yard line. Thomas Bailey defending on the play, but a first down for the Presidents.
Also on the stop, number 52, Bryce Barrett.
Bryce Barrett in on the stop.
Pick up 13 yards on the play. First and 10 for the Presidents.
So Sparrow gets the first down for his team, and 1 second more than 6 minutes remaining. Sparrow fakes twice in the backfield, rolling to his right, throwing, has Boone on the far sideline, but the ball is thrown out of bounds.
I'm impressed with the way Sparrow handles the ball in the backfield. He hangs, he does a good job of faking the handoffs and hiding the ball, and has a strong arm and a quick release on the ball.
I don't believe there's anyone in the press box or around the stadium that is not thoroughly impressed with Aaron Sparrow. You have to be. If you enjoy your football, you enjoy watching this young man. A few Phantoms would rather he hadn't done so well tonight. Mike Atkins on the carry.
Kevin Giles again, another young man that's got, we've got so many people that could be players of the game today. You know, Kevin Beckner, Kevin Giles, Maurice Turner, Chad Hopkins, Bryce Barrett, Thomas Bailey. I mean, you could just go on and on and on, but I'm leaning towards Thomas Bailey. I just think he is,
I have to go with you on that.
really done the job tonight.
Yeah, I think that's a more than fair choice. Bailey has done well. This is the bomb, and Bailey is going to be there, and he'll catch it, but he'll be out of bounds in doing so. He had the best shot at it, and Bailey concentrating all the way, but he couldn't bring it down in bounds. Sparrow just threw up in prayer, and that'll bring up fourth down for the Presidents. Here's your replay. It was of a unique play in that Sparrow just threw up the bomb. He just threw it high in the air and said, here,
well, the receiver broke off his pattern. He didn't continue deep, but that was a 40-yard, over about a 45-yard throw, but across field, so that's a lot further than it would have looked like, because he went all the way across the field. 4th down.
And a kick with no one back for the Phantoms. They elected to put the rush on the kicker, and the ball will roll dead all the way down to the Phoebus 30-yard line. So the Warwick Raiders, we are told, have upset the Deep Creek Hornets. So the Raiders will advance to...
They will play the winner of this game.
That's exactly correct. Right now with 4:44 remaining, unless the Phantoms can put together a couple of quick scores.
Well, Phoebus is not a big play team, but that's what they need, is a big play.
And there's mass confusion right now. They're not sure how many players they've got on the field. And now delay of game. So Bailey is in at quarterback, and he is the passer of the two. And now the Phantoms will start 5 yards further back. So the South Side will still not have the ultimate matchup that they have been looking for.
Yeah, they've been looking for Deep Creek.
Wilson and Deep Creek.
Yes.
Deep Creek has fallen at the hands of the Warwick Raiders. Our congratulations to Bill Lyons and his group over at Warwick High School for a hard-fought victory over Deep Creek. This is Bailey over the middle, and it's incomplete. Intended receiver was Chris Williamson. At last, we had heard Hampton was leading Maury by 7. But that was quite a while ago, so we can't be too sure what the score in that game is.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything, and Dr. Sam hasn't let us know what Hampton's doing, so. Or Kickingham, so maybe we'll get an update on that. Well, there's some of the stadium staff. Ricky Rawls, the young man in the back, and he's a former student of mine over Bethel High School, and I got to give him a little airtime. He says, Coach, give me some airtime. So, Ricky, you're on the air.
And we've got movement. 4:16 remaining in the fourth quarter. The only score of the second half has been Sparrow's 13-yard run. So a second Peninsula team has been victorious tonight. The Hampton Crabbers, we're told, have defeated Maury 28-7.
And so they will play the winner of the first Colonial Kickingham game, which the last we heard, Kickingham was trailing by 7, so that was in the first half.
Bailey under extreme pressure throws for Williamson, and it's knocked away, incomplete. Williamson actually ended up as the defender on the play.
Well, he did a great job. Bailey was under a lot of duress that time before he threw the ball, and he was falling backwards, so he was lucky to get that ball anywhere close to his receiver.
I believe Dr. Sam was talking about the fact that if Hampton won, they would host the next round, I believe,
Well, I don't know. If First Colonial wins, First Colonial's got a higher rating. That will be our next game. First Colonial's is, I think, will be the host team, but that's the game that we will do.
That's assuming that Kickingham ultimately loses to First Colonial.
Beg your pardon?
That's assuming Kickingham loses to First Colonial, or is that
an assumption? Yes.
Our congratulations go out to the Warwick Raiders as they have defeated a previously unbeaten Deep Creek team. Our congratulations to the Hammer Crabbers as they have beaten a Maury team. And our congratulations certainly go to the Phoebus Phantoms, regardless of the outcome of this ball game. Bill D and his coaching staff and his team have everything to be proud of. They have had a super season, the most wins ever in a season by the Phoebus Phantoms, with 9. And our hats off to the Phantoms regardless of the ultimate outcome. Phantoms, of course, are still not out. They have 4:08 remaining. They're looking at a 3rd down and 10. Bailey on the play action fake, setting up the screen to the left side, and it's picked off. Picked off by number 88. That is Herbert Gibbs again. So the Presidents now, with the ball, have this game virtually wrapped up.
Yeah, that's got to be the crowning glory if you are the Presidents, and the bubble bursting if you were on the Phantom side.
Well, as I said, Bill D and his group have had a super season. And our heartiest congratulations to him and his staff and the players as they will see their season end to 9-2. And the defending state champion Wilson Presidents will advance to postseason play. And they'll play the Warwick Raiders. Is that correct? Yeah. And I'm told by Richard Rawls up here that that'll be a replay of last year's Eastern Regional Championship game between Warwick and Wilson.
He's got a fine passing attack also, so we're going to you go to that ball game, you're going to see a lot of balls in the air.
Bob, I understand you're going to try and make your way down to the sidelines.
Yes, I am.
And hopefully we can get a word or two with Bill D and some of the players. Thomas Bailey will be our player of the game for the Phantoms. This is Atkins. Atkins following his blocking, and he'll go in. If he can get to the corner, I was a little premature that they got him out at the 1-foot line. So Atkins can't quite get into the end zone. Something Atkins did quite often this year, coming into this game. 20 touchdowns for Atkins. We'll see the replay here. Watch as Atkins on the handoff, following his blocking, and he got some good blocks. Then he uses his quickness to race to the corner. Look at Kevin Beckner, who has played virtually the entire game at quarterback for the Phantoms, chasing down a very quick Mike Atkins to keep him out of the end zone. However, Atkins this time diving over the middle, scores from 1 yard out. So with just 2:42 remaining in the ball game, the Presidents now lead by 31-10 over the Phoebus Phantoms. Richard Price on to try the extra point. His kick is good. So the Presidents continue their scoring binge as the Phantoms, if you joined us late, the Phantoms led 10-0. After 1 quarter, they had the lead of 10-0, and the Presidents turned it around. Aaron Sparrow with pinpoint passing in the second quarter to Edwards for 2 touchdowns, and then Price with a 30-yard field goal as the half concluded. And the Presidents have never been behind since. There you see the story, 32-10. We want to thank our fine crew for their coverage tonight. Our director, Scotty Bowers, Slow-Mo Joe, our producer is Dr. Sam Stills, Slow-Mo Joe, of course, and Joe Lewis on the instant replay. And our camera crew, they just do a super job, game in and game out. Our hats off to you, gentlemen, for your usual superb effort. Ron Bateman, Jerome Young, Sam Stills Jr., and others. I assume Sam Stills Jr. is here tonight. All
taken at the 20-yard line. This is Williamson. Our graphics person tonight, Beverly Penn. Did I forget anybody, Dr. Sam? Ron Bateman. Ron Bateman on the crew. Hooker. Slow-mo Joe doing his great job as usual, giving these slow motion replays to you. Beverly Penn on the graphic titler. Great job as usual, gang. We will have a game for you next week. We're not exactly certain which game we'll be covering. If Kickingham wins and Hampton wins, then we will certainly cover one of those two games. If Hampton remains the only Hampton City school in the hunt, then of course we'll follow them.
Well, Tim, this has been a great season for the Phoebus Phantoms. They have nothing to be ashamed of. This is a great team that they're getting beat by, that is defending state champion and very possibly this repeating state champion on the Division 5 and AAA.
A minute 30 remaining in the ball game. Thomas Bailey has some time, throws the bomb, and it's almost picked off by the Presidents. You have to look at some of the positive sides. The Phantoms, under the coaching of Bill D, with a 9-victory season, the most victories ever by a Phoebus team. And I should hasten to add that the Phantoms were the co-district champions this year. An 8-1 record in the district. The clock is stopped with 1:21 remaining. The only thing undecided at this point will be the final score, 32-10, as the Presidents will advance to play the Warwick Raiders, a rematch of last year's championship game. This is Bailey running for his life, and he is bulldogged down for the sack. Hunter was chasing him, along with number 81, Dwight Wiggins. Wiggins and Hunter have been all over the field tonight for the Presidents. We invite you to stay tuned at the conclusion of the ball game. Bob Hintz will be down on the sidelines, and hopefully we'll have a word or two with some of the Phoebus players, and even perhaps if we were able to do so, maybe a word with either Darnell Moore, the coach of Wilson, or Aaron Sparrow, if possible. Certainly Sparrow would have to be our player of the game on the Wilson side. Ball will roll dead. It'll belong to the Presidents with just 34 seconds remaining. So the near capacity crowd has seen an awesome display of offensive power by the Woodrow Wilson Presidents, and in particular the quarterbacking of Aaron Sparrow. Many people would love to see move on to play at the University of Virginia, which is one of the several schools that are still in the running for his talents. Presidents now will just simply snap the ball and run this timeout, as there are 16 seconds remaining, and the Phantoms with no timeouts remaining. And that's going to be the final play of this ball game. So stay tuned, if you will, as Bob will try and catch up with Bill D, or at least some of the other Phoebus Phantoms. It's always tough to talk after a game like this.
I'm going to try to get a hold of somebody to talk to. We'll see what happens.
So the final score, Woodrow Wilson 32, and the Phoebus Phantoms 10. The Phantoms put up a valiant effort, led by the score of 10-0. But then the Woodrow Wilson Presidents turned on the afterburners and scored 32 straight points. And the final score, a 22-point victory for Aaron Sparrow and the defending state champion Division 5 Woodrow Wilson Presidents will face the Warwick Raiders. That game will take place in Portsmouth this coming Friday, I guess it's Friday night. The regional play is Fridays, and then the state play will be Saturdays.
Hey, Tim.
Yes, sir, Bob.
I got Coach Darnell Moore. Coach, you gave up 10 points early, but boy, you guys come back strong.
Well, I told our kids in the locker room that it takes a little while to get used to the wishbone team during the game. And the longer you play, the better you do defensively against them. So I expected to give up something early. And I thought that the defense would rise to the occasion late on in the game.
Well, they most certainly did. Twice Phoebus had chances to score down there, first and goal, and your defense just came up and stopped them.
Yeah, they did a terrific job. Probably one of the better defensive games we played all year.
Well, I tell you, you got to be real happy with the way you come out. You're meeting Warwick again next week, and that's a repeat of last year.
Well, it really doesn't make any difference. I'd rather play Deep Creek because they're in our district and we wanted to play them. But, I mean, we got Warwick, so, you know, to advance, you got to beat them.
That's true. Well, listen, congratulations again, and good luck to you the rest of the way, all the way to state championship.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Tim, let's go back up to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. And my congratulations to Darnell Moore, the head coach of Woodrow Wilson. And Aaron Sparrow just walked by you there, Bob. You want to get a scoop and ask him where he's going to college next year?
I'm gonna try to get up with Bill D. Hold on a second.
All right. We will make you aware of some other things that are going on, and that is the fact that the Hampton Crabbers have been victorious over the Maury Commodores. And the Kickintan Warriors, at the last word, were trailing First Colonial. So Hampton will play the winner of the First Colonial Kickintan game. If it's Kickintan, of course, it'll be an all-peninsula Eastern Regional Final. If it's First Colonial, we understand that game will be played on the south side next Friday night.
Tim, I got Coach Bill D here.
Yeah, okay.
Coach, it's a disappointing way to end the season, but you're 9-2. It's a tremendous job you've done at Phoebus.
Well, I appreciate that, Bob. It's a disappointing loss, but the thing is the kids played hard for the 48 minutes, and there was no quitting them. Hey, that's a great football team. They're defending state champions, and you know, they're trying to defend their championship. And I thought our kids, you know, I thought they played hard the whole game. We had, you know, some things that didn't go our way, and the score is no indication of the game, I don't think. You know?
Well, I don't think so either. I don't believe you got beat as bad as the score said.
Yeah.
There was a couple of plays that would have been a turnaround. Thomas Bailey almost intercepted the ball in the first half. If he'd got the ball, he'd have walked in.
Well, you know, just some things didn't fall our way. That's the way it is. But you know, these are class kids and they're great kids, and they're, you know, very good football team.
Well, listen, you got your coaching staff and you yourself have done just a fantastic job. And, you know, we're thankful that you came to the Peninsula District,
I appreciate
and
it.
we look forward to you next year.
I appreciate it, Bob.
Good enough, Bill. Well, Tim, let's go back up to you.
All right, Bob, we're going to wrap it up. The final score again, and our congratulations go out to Bill D and his fine Phoebus team as they finish their season 9-2, and Woodrow Wilson will advance to further play. They improved their record to 10-1. So the final score again, the Woodrow Wilson Presidents 32, the Phoebus Phantoms 10. For Bob Hintz, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.